Hi, Matt. This is Bart, Jaworski, CEO of Group 11 Resources. And this morning we've had some exciting drill results, not from Ballywire, as you might expect, but from Stonepark. And here we essentially stepped out 550 meters from the resource and basically announced the makings of a new discovery. So we got some massive sulfide, brand new zone, 550 meters away from the resource, giving us about a 15-meter thick package of alteration, brecciation. Within that, there's about a meter, almost a meter of massive sulfides in two zones, altogether aggregate of about a meter. And it's giving us almost 3 meters of almost 10% Matt. So to be more specific, 2.8 meters of 8.3% zinc and lead. So I'll take you through the slides, Matt, if you're ready.
I'm ready to go. Stonepark's been the sort of sitting in the corner by itself. I'm glad to see some news coming out of there. It's some great grades. Right, let's go.
Just to remind you where we are in Ireland, we're right here in the yellow box, which is the Limerick area of the country. And if you zoom in on that, you get this picture. And the first thing to mention is Glencore's everything in blue there. Our green position there, deep green, is our land position, our license position. And of course, we always talk about the Ballywire discovery. However, today we're going up north 20 kilometers towards Glencore's Palace Green deposit. Recall they've got a 45 million ton deposit there, 8.4% zinc and lead. And right beside it, we have our own Stonepark deposit, which is a smaller, albeit shallower and richer deposit. And this is where we're actually going to focus in on this morning. And this is a zoom in of that. Those pink pods there are the resource. I'm just going to give you a pointer one by one before I do. This is where the new hole is today before I get started. That blue blinking line there is where we just announced the new drill results. But before I do, let me set the context initially. So that's Stonepark North, and that MRE is about 3.9 million tons, 12.1% zinc and lead. You can see that in the table. This is from our MRE report, technical report back in April of 2018, Matt. Moving on, then, this is the resource over at Stonepark West, which is about almost 1 million tons of 9.3% zinc and lead. And then finally, we have our Stonepark resource over here, which is about almost 500,000 tons at 8% zinc and lead. So altogether, Matt, we have 5 million tons of 11% zinc and lead, roughly. So that kind of sets the scene. One other point to make before we begin is that there's a lot of exploration upside here. The reason we've never really focused on sort of the outskirts and closing off the deposit at Stonepark is because our modus operandi from the very beginning was let's go out and try to find something brand new. And so we haven't been really focusing on this, but that's not to say that the deposit is closed off. It is not. And you can see with these red dots that I'm flashing, there's a lot of hits here that are basically giving you 2 to 25 gram or percent meters in terms of hits to date. So they're good smoke in and around the resource. And we just have to go back and drill it off and find where the extensions are. So that's kind of the table settings, so you kind of know the context. And now let's get to this morning's news. So that, again, that's that blue hole that I'm highlighting. And I'm just going to zoom in on that gray area just to give us a little bit more granularity. And this hole here is the news this morning. And essentially, this is the hit that we announced in red. And this is essentially a 15-meter zone of mineralization, Matt, and that is partial replacement of the Walsortian limestone in a dissolution breccia rather, which is the type of alteration we always like to see, the brecciation. And within it is local massive to semi-massive pyrites, sphalerite, and lesser galena zones. And in aggregate, as I mentioned, is about a meter of it in 2 zones altogether. And that makes 2.8 meters of about 8.3% zinc and lead. And you can see that within that, there's a meter of 22% zinc lead in that as well. So it's a nice intercept to have this far away from the resource, which I'll get to in a second. There's also a secondary zone here that we announced, which is about 16 meters of partial replacement associated with calcite veins and minor, again, pyrites, sphalerite, and galena, all the zinc and the lead sulfides that you'd want to see associated with it. So that is the significant news, and the fact that it's 550 meters away from the resource, as I'm showing you here. And there is a hole that was drilled historically here, about 150 meters away from us, and it is mineralized, albeit not to the same extent. So we are getting better here with today's news by far, but I'll just zoom in on that in a second. So this is the cross section, long section, I should say, actually, that I'm going to show you here, this gray line that I'm flashing. So let's look at that. And essentially, this is the resource in the red circle. Over here is that hole that is next door to the today's hit. And this is the hole 7 that we're announcing this morning. And this is the intercept from that hole. And again, that's that 14 meter zone of mineralization within is nearly 3 meters of nearly 10% zinc and lead, if you will, in that green arrow. And just to underline the fact that it's 550 meters, so you can see it in a cross section right here, and about 150 meters away from that hole 30 over here. So the whole rationale, Matt, I should back up before I conclude, is that we are drilling for the deeper copper silver target. So no one's obviously back on the back of our success with Ballywire and testing underneath it and finding copper silver mineralization. We went back to Stonepark and said, where do we see big faults where we might have a chance of finding copper silver? Well, this is one of the best areas, and so we decided to drill there. So there are assays pending down here. This is going to be the first ever test underneath generally the Stonepark area to see if there's any copper enrichment or silver enrichment down here. So we shall see, but those assays are pending, just so you know. And that's essentially it, Matt. That's the news from today. I think it's quite significant because, again, we haven't had out of the 7 or the 6 holes historically we drilled at Stonepark since inception, since we acquired this project in 2017, nearly 10 years ago, Matt. We have not hit anything like this before, nothing, not even close. We have had some hits, but that was one hole within the resource, one in between the two resource pods. This is stepping well away and actually hitting some real mineralization here. All the other step outs we've had were very, very moderately mineralized. So this is certainly head and shoulders above anything like that. And of course, just to leave it off here, on the back of our bought deal financing in March, where we raised 12 million, we're sitting on 18 million Canadian right now. And that really sets the scene for us for the next 2 years of drilling 70,000 meters. 51,000 of that, of course, is at PG West, which hosts the Ballywire. And then the remainder, 15,000 meters of it, is at Stonepark. And we're currently on the first part of that 15,000 meters, which is a 2,700 meter drill program. So hopefully that gives you a good run through of what's happening today.
Yeah, at 100 miles an hour. You're excited. I want to kind of, if you don't mind, kind of break down why you're excited. Like, and I know we always talk about Ballywire, but obviously here at Stonepark, I need to understand what exactly you think you've seen, and how do you get after it? Because I'm trying to work out the how to judge the kind of narrow high grade core and balance that with the kind of broader lower grade envelope. How do you see it, and and what are you doing in terms of assessing that? And so,
well, what we're seeing here today is a 3 meter zone of nearly 10%. So that in and of itself is good enough relative to what we're seeing in the camp.
Good enough
and what's already good enough to put that into a resource. If you notice our mineralized pods to date, the inferred resource, the current NI 43101 resource is in and around that ballpark of grades. And certainly 2.8 meters would definitely be within the wireframes of that resource. And if you look at the 28 report, that would be certainly good enough. So more of that will be good enough. So it's just a matter of what does this mean geologically? And again, given that we've tried 6 times before and haven't had success, and now we're seeing something that will be good enough to make the grade. We could be on the cusp of a discovery here. Obviously, we'd like to have something even better. But what we found today is sort of good enough in my view. But it's just a matter of this looks like probably on the edge of a brand new, hopefully, pod of mineralization. Forward-looking statement here. But if we're finding that type of massive sulfide, that usually doesn't occur in isolation. And so what it means is we've got basically the makings of a potentially new pod. If there's any copper, silver, elevated silver in here, we could be closer to a fault feature. That would also be even more perspective, because perhaps the stuff up north is somehow further away from the main feeder structure, if there is one. So again, all those questions are sort of swirling around here. But the fact we've got a brand new zone potentially, we're already sitting at 5 million tons here of very good grade, 11.3%. If we can accrete more tonnage, that won't take much more exploration success to tip the balance into this being sort of a standalone territory. If we're successful in, hopefully maybe doubling what we have here. So it's a brand new, I guess, shot in the arm for this part of the country and this part of our property position. obviously all the focus for us has been Valleywire, but now, we can certainly say that we've got a brand new area of excitement to add to everything that's happening at Valleywire.
But talk to me about, when people talk about isolated pods or lenses, it's like, go hunt the pods and the lenses and try and, bring all of that together and want a kind of mineable complex. You seem excited about this. So can you talk about the kind of scale of these sorts of pods that, that you've seen, and, why you should be excited? Because I presume you kind of get after this. You've got to sort of demonstrate, strike and depth continuity to all of this and try and understand the quantum here. So why is a pod good enough again? Just ask the same question.
Well, the scale of pods here is pretty large. So each pod is, millions of tons. And so that would be certainly good enough to mine. It's not like you're talking about 10,000 tons here, 10,000 tons here. So it's not like a skarn deposit, which would be quite small pods. These are large. I shouldn't even call them pods. They're just zones of mineralization that notionally would be, again, we haven't done any economics or engineering on this. Obviously, we've done a 43-101 resource on it. But those 3 or 4 pods of zones of mineralization that make up the Stonepark resource would be sort of a mineable zones. It's just a matter of finding more of them. And of course, perhaps something which is the most obvious thing that I haven't mentioned yet is we're right beside 45 million tons, of course, at Palace Green. So again, there's a huge resource right next door to us, literally about a kilometer away, part of the same geological system, and we're finding more of it here. So this isn't just a 5 million ton story. This is a 5 million ton story right next door to a 45 million ton story, pretty much touching part of the same geological system. And we're just basically have found potentially a new pod, a new zone of mineralization. So the bigger picture here is quite exciting. And of course, the other one is, we're only 20 kilometers away from Valleywire, which itself is, as you know, a very exciting, fast-moving, fast-growing discovery, which we hope to put a resource on in the next 12 to 18 months. And we continue to hit there. So, knock on wood, that continues. And so altogether, as a complex, it starts to weigh up.
So, and again, I was trying to give people a sense of the scale of the scale of the opportunity, and obviously dropping grade in, even albeit over narrow bands like you're seeing in some places here. How? Because I was looking at the kind of the cross section, and some of the section extends nearly 900 meters in depth, right? But with grades like this, how far do you need to go down before it starts becoming uneconomic at today's prices?
Oh, I wouldn't say that far. Like this would be considered a shallow mineralization. To put it in perspective, Matt, I mean, this is 300 to 400 meters deep, which is not that deep. And Tara Deeps, for example, starts at 1.5 kilometers deep, and it's running about 9% zinc and lead as well. They've discovered, as far as I recall, about 30 million tons of it. Don't quote me, but about that, 30 million tons at 9%. But it's starting 1.5 kilometers deep. Here we're talking about a fraction of that at sort of 300 to 400 meters deep. And again, Matt, you should in 3D it looks more like it's a pancake, right? So those 3 meters are part of a pancake. They're not like a little vein that's 2.8 meters this way. This is drilling in this direction, if you get me. So just to clarify the geometry there.
Right. Okay. So therefore, you sort of understand that's true thickness then, right?
Yeah. It's 90 to 100% true thickness, that intercept today.
Right. Okay.
And so the idea is that if we step out and start finding fatter, richer parts of the pancake, well, you start to create a lot more tonnage very quickly. And so that would be the hope here with further drilling, which at least now on the back of this, we hope to embark on, pending board approval. Obviously, we have to take it to the board now and rejig the sort of the layout of the drill program, the 15,000 meters we have, because most of that was going to be focused on trying to find Palace Green 2.0 on the south side of the Limerick Volcanic Complex, which we still want to do. Don't get me wrong. We still want to focus most of our meterage there. But I think now, given the success we've had there, we certainly want to have at least a few holes there in and around that local vicinity, and see if there are thicker widths and more mineralization heating up to the south there.
Right. Okay. And just again, so stepping back for people that need the story, just trying to understand the kind of the end game here is, in terms of comparable economic mines globally, what sort of size do you think you need to get this to be economic and even start thinking about kind of moving this forward into a development phase? Or is this about tidying it up and making it pretty for the guys next door?
Oh no, it's to take it all the way. And you're not going to get taken out if it's not doesn't have the possibility of potential to go all the way. But Matt, very easy to answer that question, because in Ireland there's a rule of thumb, a well-worn rule of thumb here: 10 million tons of 10% zinc and lead, and you can start thinking seriously about getting into production. And what a huge advantage in Ireland is you have infrastructure. So if you're in the middle of, say, somewhere in northern North America, Canada, etc., when you're away from infrastructure, you need a beast. You need a 100 million ton deposit at super grades in order to make that work in terms of building the thing and then operating the thing. So CapEx and OpEx are going to be hurt by your remoteness and all the infrastructure you have to build for that to work. In Ireland, you have all the roads, all the rail, ports already built. You have year-round seawater, tidewater, and you have proximity to European smelters. So you don't need much in order to make it. And like I said, a rule of thumb in Ireland is 10 million tons of 10%. Again, we have 5 million tons at Stonepark. We have a neighbor with a lot more than that already. And obviously we have Ballywire just 20 kilometers south of Stonepark. So I think the dynamics here are certainly tipping in a favorable direction.
Okay, so and again, I just want to come back to how I kind of compute, right? If I look next door, obviously, that's the big 800-pound gorilla in the room. That you've got higher grades, it's shallower, and you've kind of got all that kind of infrastructure as they do. But who globally do I look to and say that's a reasonable comp?
Well, I like to draw the comparison with Arizona Mining and South 32. What happened there? Now again, that was a 100 million ton zinc deposit at 10% zinc and lead, and that was bought out for north of $2 billion US 5-6 years ago. But that's if you're in that kind of ballpark. Obviously, we're nowhere near that quite yet, unless we make a big discovery at Palace Cream 2.0, which is what we're going to try to do starting later this year. But clearly at Ballywire, there's something significant going on there. Stonepark, we've now showed this morning, there's a new ray of light there, a new big shot in the arm. You have 6 deposits that went into production in Ireland itself, so closer to home. Obviously, Tar's the big one. That's a 140 million ton deposit, been mined for 50 years, but that is a huge anomaly. It's not the typical Irish type zinc deposit. Would be like a Lachine, Galmoy, which are 10 to 20 million ton deposits at sort of 10 to 15% zinc and lead grades, right? That's what typically Silver Mines was about, in that ballpark, again, between those 10 and 20 million ton ranges of tonnages. So Silver Mines, Tina, Lachine, Galmoy, and Gordrum, which is a copper deposit, and then you got Tara. So those are the 6 discoveries within the country, in our neck of the woods of the country, that have all been discoveries and put into production, and all, except for Tara, within that sort of, call it 10 to 20 million ton range of deposits. So I think we're, I can't say too much without putting putting more holes down into Stonepark, and obviously putting a resource out on Ballywire. But that's the lay of the land.
Brilliant. Bart, I know you're on the road. You're in Canada at the moment, road showing and telling the story. Great timing on the discovery. Stay in touch.
Thanks so much, Matt. Appreciate it.